A dairy started by Swiss immigrants in 1904 down in Mansfield, Ohio, made a huge impact here in the Valley for decades. That's right, Isley's, famous for its neighborhood delis, skyscraper cones, and chip chop ham, once had a manufacturing plant here in Youngstown. The U-Haul building on Mahoning Avenue was once home to one of 11 Isley's manufacturing plants. Designed by Charles Ousley at a cost of over $400,000, the Youngstown plant was built in the 1930s with a distinctive Art Deco appearance. We caught up with Brian Butko, author of Klondike's, Chipped Ham, and Skyscraper Cones, The Story of Isley's, and learned what prompted him to document the company's history.
Well, when I was growing up, Isley seemed to be everywhere, and then suddenly they weren't. So what intrigued me is, how could so many people love a company and then it just disappears? So I spent many years talking to workers and family, and so the book touches on all the different aspects, some of the popular products like chipped ham or Klondike bars or skyscraper cones, and then some of the other things too, the different cities that the plants were in, and the history of how it evolved from horse-drawn wagons to a big company.
At its peak, Isley's operated over 400 delis and dairies here in Ohio, in Pennsylvania, and in West Virginia.
They were pretty standardized, and that was what was revolutionary, that they probably put a lot of little mom and pop places out of business back in the 1920s and 30s, but the basic flow of the store, when you would come in, there was the deli case, so it was a deli, and then there would be the lunch counter and then the ice cream. So it was all of those, and that's why they became such a popular gathering spot. They really addressed grocery needs, lunchtime meals, and then the desserts.
Two of Isley's ice cream flavors are certainly remembered fondly.
Maricopa and Isley's White House, which was the cherries and vanilla, and was supposedly named for the cherry trees that were in Washington, D.C.
But changing technology and consumer habits would alter the course of this company.
By the 1950s, supermarkets were coming in, so you could make one-stop shopping. Same with freezers were bigger, so now you could get a half gallon to take home and not have to eat a cone there. Places like Baskin-Robbins now you could get 2 or 3 flavors on a cone as opposed to a skyscraper was just one. They were stuck with a lot of in-town locations where people were moving to the suburbs, Dairy Queen setting up on the edge of town. And then I think the Isley family, now instead of 3 or 4 brothers, you had 18 or so cousins who all had different ideas. And so all those factors came together, the changing food habits in the 60s. And they opened up the Sweet Williams restaurants. They tried some more mini-mart kind of locations, but it was hard to change, just like a ship changing direction, hard to change a company with hundreds of restaurants to go a different direction.
While their iconic delis are no more, Isley's continues to live on.
A lot of people remember the Isley stores, the plants, and really there are a lot of workers beyond that, the people inside the factory, the women working there. In the early years, they called them Klondike girls, dipping by hand the Klondikes in it and making pies, and all the work that went into butter and sour cream, things like that. And then the delivery drivers, sometimes making 2 trips a day to a store to keep it stocked.
And you can still find Isley's ice creams, barbecue sauce, and chipped ham in many local supermarkets.